the underframe, so we need to trim these parts off of here, the underframe, because we're going to work with this whole piece right here. And eventually the next step will be putting it onto the body. So very gently you want to trim off these plastic parts. So those are free. Don't get rid of these because we're gonna use those later. Put them back in the box. I like to put things back in the box, that way I don't lose them. But you can see some of the excess here on the underframe, which we just need to trim that smooth. And we got excess plastic mold right there. Trim that free. When you're doing this, especially where you trim, run your finger across there, and you can feel whether or not it's smooth. You only want to trim off as much as necessary. Run my finger back and forth across here. That's pretty smooth. Looks relatively clean. What we'll do is we'll set that down, because what we need to do is we need to put the metal weights in there, which back here in the plastic bag. And the cards need weight to stay on the track. Just go ahead and slice them open. The metal weights are going to go on these pins here that are on the underframe. And then after we get them on the underframe, we're going to take these plastic rings and plastic washers that we cut off of there earlier and glue them in over top. That way they hold the weights in place. And always test fit before you start gluing things in place. You notice that some of these there's a rounded edge on and there's a flat edge. So I like to make sure that the flat edge is down. You want to try and make sure that your weights are centered. Otherwise, the car might be out of balance. Set these aside. Go ahead and get back to our plastic washers. Trim off the excess. Got the excess trimmed off. Say before we glue, we'll go ahead and test fit this, make sure that it fits on there. Nice and snug, that's the way we like it. Probably stand to be cleaned out just a little bit. Now I'm just going to take the X-Acto knife and very gently twist that around inside of that. Just enough to shave it so that it fits down over top of that pin. There you go. Nice fit right there. Go ahead and take a look at the other end. That one's a little tight. Like I say, these parts can be delicate, so don't want to force things too much. Nice, because once we glue that in place, it's going to hold those weights down. As delicate or gentle with our glue. So I'm just going to put a couple of dabs of glue there, because all we want it to hold in place. We don't want that weight to go anywhere. So we'll go ahead and slide that down over top of that weight. Just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Dab a little bit of glue. Place it down over top. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this underframe into the body. It should just fall right into place. Sometimes you just need to pull the body apart a little bit to get it to fit in there. Sometimes it works best if you start on one end and work your way towards the other. That will help pull the body apart a little bit. And you can see it's falling right into place. There you go. What you want to do is you make sure that the body and the underframe are flush. You can see there, that looks pretty good. So okay, we're going to set this aside for a couple minutes, because the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the doors on, and we need to cut these free. And got it cut free. What we want to do is we want to trim this up just a little bit. You want it as smooth as you can possibly get it without gouging it. a little bit of excess of plastic on there from where it was mounted. You can see here on the runner we got a little bit of excess plastic. So be careful cutting that off, because you may end up ruining the part. Okay, we'll go grab the other door and go ahead and trim that. Yeah, a little excess on the back side there. Feels nice and smooth. And a little excess plastic right there. That looks pretty good. We didn't break or damage anything. Lucky me, I'm usually pretty good about breaking stuff. The other things that we need to cut loose here is that we need to take the door guides off of the plastic molding here also. Yeah, another thing you need to be gentle with. Once we cut those free, and go ahead and trim that up while we have that off. Cut the other one loose. That one came clean pretty good. Okay, what we're going to eventually do is these little pins here are going to go in the slots on the Boxcar, but what I like to do is I like to put the rollers in the bottom of the door first.